This is not a Monogatari video. There's another anime this week that I really wanted to talk about, and it's an anime that is probably not getting a lot of discussion. So even if this is just a drop in the ocean, I want to create more conversation around it. That anime is Senpai is an Otokonoko. And if you don't know what an Otokonoko is, it's a man who has the appearance of a beautiful woman, different from a bishonen who is a beautiful man. Before you roll your eyes and run away at this cross-dressing premise, I promise you that the animation style really belies how deep and meaningful its message is. But more than that, its storytelling is actually very layered and the character writing is complex. Before I explain, I think some background information is necessary. This is definitely an LGBT story that dissects and analyzes how harmful societal expectations surrounding gender can be. In fact, the story's three main characters, the Otokonoko Makoto, adorable kohai Aoi-chan, and childhood best friend Ryuji-kun, are each struggling with something related to that. And it's one of the few but rising number of anime I've been seeing that treats their trans-coded characters respectfully and not just as the butt of a joke. I say transcoded because Makoto, our titular senpai, does not identify as trans, but there are many similarities between the experiences depicted in their story and the trans experience. You'll know what I mean once you see the very end of the first episode. Watch after the credits, please. That said, it's not a melodrama, even though it deals with these more quote-unquote mature themes. A large part of the beginning is dedicated to the comedic shenanigans of the three main characters, who are presented as typical high schoolers. They act their age, and they look their age too. I like that the show constantly reminds us that these are children, which is what makes what they're going through all the more painful. I'm gonna take a moment now to say that there will be spoilers going forward, but it's kind of intentional. I'm hoping this will actually motivate some people to check out the show. So this is your warning if you absolutely hate spoilers and will hate me for giving you any. But if you weren't gonna watch this show anyway, I want to tell you about the scene in this week's episode that compelled me to write this script and post this video. Makoto is the center of the story, and we see them struggling as a crossdresser with a pretty face who likes cute and pretty things. They are obviously the audience favorite, drawing sympathy because we see how that affects their standing in their personal and public life. Every time they reveal their true interests to their mother, she has a panic attack, and they have to go back into hiding. It's painful every time we see them rejected for being who they are, so they've learned to hide that part of themselves and stick to cross-dressing at school. The premise seems silly, and any other comedy writer might just gloss over the details, focusing instead on the silly shenanigans such a scenario would cause. But this writer puts in the work to show how all of this is possible in a realistic way. The school Makoto attends is far from home. They get in with the support of their father, which demonstrates how significant a family member's support can be for someone going through something similar, and they struggle even when they're at school. The school children and even teachers are not all generous and accepting. They are actually only recently gaining some acceptance among a few of their peers, partially due to still excelling at certain more masculine-coded interests like basketball. Makoto is not a stereotype of a character, but has been developed to seem very much like a real person. Despite Makoto's surge of self-confidence and acceptance at school recently in our story, internalized self-loathing has led them to respond by blaming themselves when they realize that their best friend, Ryuji-kun, might have a crush on them. When Makoto says, "I'm sorry, this must be my fault. Because I'm dressed like this, you confused me for a girl. I'm sorry, I'm so sorry." The expression on Ryuji's face when he finally answers that he's sorry for not being able to keep it hidden is heartbreaking. Moments like this are where the animation quality really becomes elevated. The animators clearly want to express the character's complex emotions. There's an effort to demonstrate how Ryuji's words affect Makoto in that moment as well, when he realizes what he's done. So this scene really reveals the complexity of these characters' relationships. Makoto already had a hard time believing Aoi likes them as a person, but they think it's impossible for Ryuji to like them because they are a boy. This has led them to unwittingly inflict on Ryuji the same pain they've been suffering throughout their life. See, Ryuji has been interested in Makoto since even before they started presenting in a feminine manner, and we're shown very vividly in this episode how he's been struggling with this since childhood. We've seen him struggling with it every episode up until now, actually, but this was the first episode to reveal how long it's been going on. Now he's finally in no way confused about his feelings. Right before Makoto's apology, Ryuji had actually confessed with a smile on his face, and it was the first moment he truly accepted his feelings for Makoto. It was the first moment he truly accepted those feelings as a part of himself, and he stopped running from them. In the moment that Makoto apologizes, he's rejecting Ryuji's identity. And Ryuji's worst fears, which are similar to Makoto's fears of disappointing someone who cares about him just by being himself, are realized. So Ryuji apologizes and figuratively runs away, much like Makoto has been doing all his life. So much happened in those brief moments, and I thought it was so cleverly written and executed, and it was very well set up. That's why I really want more people to watch this show. There are many moments like this in every episode where the writing just hits so hard, surpassing expectations of a show that's animated in this particular style. So I want to recommend this series to everyone. Please check it out. Let me know what you think. I don't think that you'll be disappointed though.